Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies, inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
And welcome to the Kulturecast. I'm Chris Stachiw, and Eric, I hope you loved Black Panther, because if not, we may be in some hot water here.
Yeah, I mean, I
Full disclosure, we're both white, so if you're listening to this podcast and that offends you to hear our opinion on Black Panther, stop listening now, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. It's not. Yeah,
I don't know either, but it seems to be putting people into a tizzy.
No opinions on this podcast, good or bad, about Black Panther are racially motivated in any way, shape, or form.
But hey, you know what? I'm pretty sure this may be a Last Jedi situation where if we're giving our opinions and they're not positive, it may be because we're white men.
Oh,
oof.
That was the reason that people thought that people didn't like The Last Jedi?
Oh boy. Well, on this episode, we're going to be talking about Marvel's 18th superhero film and the final film before the 10-year buildup that is Infinity War. We're talking about Black Panther. The film is directed by Ryan Coogler and stars Chadwick Boseman as the eponymous Black Panther, Michael B. Jordan as Erik Killmonger, Lupita Nyong'o as Nakia, and Danai Gurira as Okoye, one of the Dore Milaje, aka the guard for Black Panther.
Yeah, they're kind of like, I don't know, like the ultimate secret service.
Yeah, they're like the Secret Service for the Black Panther.
Essentially, yeah. They're like the most crazy warriors or whatever.
And they're all women.
Oh, yeah. The most badass women.
I have seen gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine. I've seen aliens drop from the sky.
Yeah.
But I have never seen anything like this. How much more are you hiding?
Hold up. Let's go.
We are home. My son, it is your time.
Show me my respect and bow down.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be. Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
The revolution will not be televised.
Show me my respect and bow down. We own ya. We own ya. We only getting started now, cause we own ya. Everybody think they know me now, cause we own ya. You and I, my homie. yeah.
I waited my entire life for this. The world's gonna start over. I'ma burn it all.
What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out.
Wakanda forever!
The revolution will not be televised.
Let's have some fun.
The revolution will be live.
So, Eric, I'm curious, what did you think about Black Panther?
I had a really good time. I liked it. Black Panther is a really fun, good movie. My only gripes with this movie is that 10 years into Marvel, we get introduced to a new character and the sort of origin, I guess it's not really an origin story, but like it kind of is.
I mean, this is what I would consider to be, yes, this is an origin story.
This is like our introduction to Black Panther. It's not necessarily, it kind of is an origin story.
No, it's an origin story. I mean, yes, and spoilers from here on out, yes, T'Challa was Black Panther in Civil War. This film takes place like literally right after Civil War. Yeah. However, you know, he just seemed to have put on the suit in Civil War and was running around as Black Panther. In this film, he becomes King T'Challa and becomes the Black Panther proper.
Yeah, I think my only gripes with this movie is it sort of falls into the tropes that we've seen before with just introducing new characters. And I mean, I have full disclosure, anybody who listens to this podcast knows that I don't read any of these comic books, so I don't know anything about Black Panther other than this movie. It's cool and it's different, and I love the country of Wakanda and all the awesome, like, new, different world building stuff that they introduced into this movie. I just thought they could have done it with a little bit less of the tropes that we see a lot in like origin movies.
Aren't you going to ask me what I thought?
I don't know. What did you think?
So, full disclosure, I used to really hate Marvel movies. Around when the Avengers came out, I got really burned out of Marvels. Like, really burned out. And there are people that are getting to that point now with Marvels.
I'm getting there.
Right. And so, yes, this film is a shot in the arm to kind of revitalize the kind of genericness, I guess, that people feel with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, look, and this is something we've talked about before, and this is something we talk about every time we talk about a superhero movie. Even the worst Marvel movie, and that is a debatable film. I mean, I'll hear Ant-Man, I'll hear Iron Man 2, Thor 2. Some people really hate Iron Man 3. The worst Marvel movie is still better than the best DC movie. Without a doubt. And, you know, I was kind of lukewarm on Wonder Woman, as were you after the fact. And, you know, every kind of other Marvel movie is better than Wonder Woman. And man, every DC movie for the most part is just fucking awful. They are obnoxious and poorly written and poorly acted for some of the characters. And they're pandery, bad comic book movies. So we get to a film like Black Panther, which is, it's a fun movie. It's a silly fucking movie. A lot of it's really goofy. Like, it's about a guy who's running around in a Black Panther outfit. And so, you know, my kind of reasoning behind saying that is like, I don't particularly like the way that the film is being used by certain kind of aspects of pop culture. If that makes sense. And it's kind of like tiptoeing around the issue, but I don't like a film like this that's just a stupid fucking superhero movie. Like when they used the Ghostbusters movie as kind of like a thing to rally around, Ghostbusters 2016. Like, at least this is a good movie.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster. You know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week, and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Ghostbusters 2016 was a bad movie that nobody went and saw, made no money, and they're never going to make a sequel to. This movie is a massive success.
Oh, yeah.
But my issue is, this movie it's just okay. It's not the best Marvel movie that they've made. And that has nothing to do with the black cast or the black director or any of that. That doesn't color my judgment at all. It's just not my favorite Marvel movie. It's good. It's good. It's not great. It's not amazing. And it's not a masterpiece, as some critics have really gone out on a limb to say. I mean, there are people that have literally said this is a masterpiece. Not really, but again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's fine. But I think kind of going that far is a little much.
I think what maybe, I don't know. I think the importance of this movie and the timing of this movie and the cast of this movie and the way that the characters are portrayed in this movie and the world is portrayed in this movie are extremely important. And so I definitely agree with a lot of people that this is a really important movie that's coming at an important time, and we need more movies that are like this.
But movies that are serious.
But I don't know. I mean,
this is a superhero movie, for fuck's sake. It's a movie about a guy in a suit made out of a space metal fighting another guy in a suit made from a space metal with some anti-colonialist platitudes thrown in, because if they don't address that, the movie won't be nearly as edgy.
Okay, but what about arguably one of the most important, movies that to have ever come out, because it was the first movie to have the main character of the movie be black, was a goddamn zombie movie. Was the zombie movie, the eponymous, the original Night of the fucking Living Dead. And yeah, they don't beat you over the head with the fact that he's black, but it definitely plays into the movie in a really big way. And yeah, that movie's a lot more serious.
Yeah, but the problem is this movie beats you over the head that they're black. It's the lack. There is a lack of subtlety in this film that it could have been a little subtler for me.
I don't know. I didn't feel like I was beat over the head with the fact that everybody was black. It was just we're just seeing a different part of the world, and this part of the world and the people that we're following happens to be from a country in Africa where there are no white people. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, I didn't feel like this movie was, I don't know, like I didn't walk out of this movie going like, oh, that movie was anti-white or
no, because it's not
whatever. It's not even a little bit. And I didn't feel that way, walking out of Get Out last year.
Because
and a lot of people, because it's not, but a lot of people, are going to say the sort of same thing, like, oh, the movie beats you over the head with this whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that. I feel like the movie is just showing a different side of the world and a whole different culture that a lot of us, me included, have no ideas or knowledge or stakes in or know anything about. And so I don't know.
The problem is it's fake though, man.
But the ideas
are
real.
Right. The ideas are real, but that's the problem that I'm having here, is that I have a hard time taking a superhero movie seriously, because superhero movies are baseline entertainment. They're not made to be art, and they're not made to be taken seriously.
I mean, that's one argument, but
do you take a movie like Spider-Man Homecoming seriously?
I mean, no, but I don't know. That's
again, how do we talk about this movie without sounding racist if one of us has an opinion that's not, it was amazing?
I don't know.
Right? Like, I'm feeling here, like, I am sitting here feeling like anything I say will be construed as being racist. Just because I thought the movie was fucking mediocre at best. It was just okay. I mean, and if I say what my favorite Marvel movie is, it's gonna be like, of course you love the movie with the white guy in it. Like, ugh.
Well, that's every other Marvel movie, so that's not exactly fair.
But the problem is that is a reality of the times we live in right now. And that's really fucking sad.
But that's what I'm trying to say about this movie is I think this movie's importance outweighs its actual like cinematic greatness. So maybe the actual movie in and of itself is good. It is very entertaining. I had a great time watching it, but it's also just another Marvel movie. You know, it's another step in the progression. I like to see new characters. I like to see new worlds. I like to see the new tech and all the cool stuff that, you know, is going to get folded into the Marvel universe with Infinity War and then, you know, whatever else after that. But at the same time, you know, I'm not walking out of this movie going like, oh my God, that was a masterpiece. Like
it never transcended the genre.
It never did. It never did for me either.
For the main issue here is where I really am kind of drawing a hard line with a lot of critics is that this did not transcend the genre. And I'm not a huge fan of The Dark Knight, and I know a lot of people love The Dark Knight. And I will grant that The Dark Knight and Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, maybe not so much the third one, but the first two transcended superhero movies.
I mean, definitely the second one.
The first one is a better movie than the second one. The second one has a amazing performance, but outside of that, it's just middle of the road. That's like that Heath Ledger performance really elevates that movie.
But sometimes that's all it takes is one amazing performance to take a mediocre movie and make it awesome.
But that's what I'm saying. But no, that's what I'm saying. And the problem is this movie doesn't have that. And I know that people will say, well, what about Michael B. Jordan? Michael B. Jordan's character is not even in the movie enough.
Yeah, his character,
it's generic, unfortunately. It again is just a generic villain who, spoilers, fucking dies at the end of the movie.
The two villains in this movie, I think, are some of the more interesting and potentially like awesome three-dimensional characters that you could keep and fold over and use in, you know, future franchises of Black Panther or of other Marvel movies or whatever. You have Andy Serkis's character who, spoilers, dies halfway through the movie. And then
kind of like another movie he was just in, cough, cough.
Yeah. And then Michael B. Jordan, who has the total potential to be one of the most...
He's not even a goddamn villain. He has, like, for all intents and purposes, everything that he is saying is completely true.
Everything that he does in this movie is justified except for how far he takes it.
Which, by the way, is where I kind of checked out of this movie. I was like, okay, I get it. Yeah. I agree 100%. And then he's like, fuck, we're all just gonna fucking fight. It's like, where did this come? I thought this was this united nation of Wakanda. And all of a sudden, the people that have been united for hundreds of years are turning on each other like in a split second. Like, really? This is some poor writing just so there could be some CGI rhinoceroses wearing armor at the end of the film. Which, again, even in Black Panther, it commits the sin of the third act of a superhero movie is just a CGI fuckfest.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting, and this movie sets up so many great things that could have been amazing, and it could have really transcended genre if they would have went for a more downplayed, less action.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
there's not a whole lot of action in this film to begin with.
I mean, there isn't, and I liked that about
right.
this
No,
movie.
it's great. But the problem is when there is action, it's not good. It's just okay. And then the final fight between Killmonger and Black Panther is, again, it falls into that same fucking trap of, for some reason, every villain in a Marvel movie has to be just the hero, but the bad version of the hero in the suit or the armor or with the super soldier serum. It's like,
yeah.
Hulk and Abomination, sure. Iron Man, Ironmonger, Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket, Erik Killmonger and Black Panther. They're like Logan and Logan. There's no way to write a villain better than that. I mean, go look at Winter Soldier. That movie doesn't have, well, I take that back, kind of, pretty much. I mean, Winter Soldier pretty much is just a super soldier. Let's go through and let's think. So Thor fights
Hela,
and he fights the Destroyer in the first movie. He fights Hela in Ragnarok. He fights the Dark Elves in the second movie. Iron Man fights Guy Pearce in the third Iron Man movie. In the second Iron Man movie, he fights a bunch of Iron Man suits and Whiplash.
Yeah.
And then Iron Man 1, he fights Iron Man. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't commit that sin, which is great. At least the first one doesn't. The second one kind of does, because it's God versus God. But
yeah, God versus partial God. Yeah.
Right. Like, Killmonger and Black Panther at the end fighting each other in just, like, two different colored Black Panther suits was so... it's just like, who cares?
Yeah, it's more of the same. And that's the kind of stuff that bummed me out about this movie, where you could have gone a different way with it. Like, of course, we're going to have the fight scene at the end of the movie with, Killmonger and Black Panther, but I mean, I don't know.
And again, the scene beforehand where they're fighting on the fields of Wakanda, their reasoning for fighting is just so goofy. It's like, well, you follow me blindly now. It's like, do these people not have I thought they had like this proud sense of identity, and then all of a sudden they're just following Killmonger blindly. But this is an advanced culture who still has a fight in the side of a waterfall to prove that you're king. Like, what? Some of the stuff just really, it's so drastically different that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I mean, I don't know. I liked the whole ritual combat thing. I thought that was really
But hold
cool.
on. This is supposed to be the most advanced culture on the planet.
So what? They are deeply rooted traditions.
Yeah, that's fine, but you know what I mean.
No, but I mean, there's something to be said for holding on to traditions like that. Like, we in America don't give a fuck about our traditions.
It would be stupid to pit two political people in a pit against one another with swords.
Yeah.
It's goofy.
But it's not us. It's not our, it's not our culture. So
again, that just looking at it that way, it's like, this is supposed to be this really advanced culture, and they're still doing that. You'd think that they would have come up with a better way to figure out who, and I mean, let's be honest, it's like that for one reason and one reason alone, so Michael B. Jordan could beat Black Panther.
Yeah.
It was a plot device. I'm not sure it was ever like a cultural thing. It was a mere plot device so that they could have Black Panther have his retribution partial story arc in the film.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, this movie was, I enjoyed this movie, but it wasn't, to me, there was just a lot of same Marvel, same stuff again. And why is everyone overlooking that now? Like, go look at Ant-Man, go look at Doctor Strange. Those are both origin stories, and they have almost the same problems as this movie. And those movies are just fucking middle of the road.
Yeah.
Why? Can you tell me why, outside of it's an all-black cast and all-black director, that this movie is kind of given a pass and not just being like, it's just okay?
Because of the importance of this movie.
So then people should be allowed to admit that outside of the film's importance, it's just a mediocre film.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Okay. I'm making sure we're on the same page.
That's you and I are in agreement that this movie is not the best by far Marvel movie.
Which is insane that anyone would think that.
I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinions, man.
I know, but I mean, come on, like, Winter Soldier is, would say it's probably still the one Marvel movie that really does so much to not fall into the traps. Or even Thor Ragnarok. I know that people really had a problem with the humor, but still, it doesn't fall into the traps.
Yeah, I don't know. Thor Ragnarok fell into the traps just like everything else did. It relied so heavily on the subversion of everything into humor that nobody cared that it was sort of the same as everything else. All the fucking Marvel movies and all these these superhero movies, they're all the same movie. It's just different characters.
Especially the Marvel ones.
And they're all just told from different perspectives with different characters from different parts of the world and different galaxies and different whatevers. And so like we have all of these different stories, which are all relatively the same, just from different perspectives.
And
I
mind
think
you, they've given Marvel a pass because of it. And to some extent, I'm okay with that. But other times, it's not okay.
Yeah. And that's why I'm getting just so bored and over the Marvel movies, is because every single one is just the same as the last one. And
Right.
so I really liked this movie because, yes, a lot of it is the same as a lot of the other Marvel movies, but it's also not a fucking sequel. And it's told from a perspective that I have not seen in a movie before.
A Marvel movie. A superhero movie.
In a superhero movie. And so...
Because if you're looking for a film about the Black experience, this is not the one to go look at.
No, there's a lot of other great films.
Go look at anything that Spike Lee has directed. That's my problem. It's like listening to people say like this movie encapsulates the Black experience. It's like even as a white man, I know that that's not true.
It does and it doesn't.
This is Afrofuturism as a film. That's what this is. That's what Afrofuturism is. Literally the genre of entertainment that this would fall into.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
yes, it touches on some stuff. It does.
It does. It touches on a lot of stuff.
But there are films that touch on stuff that are serious and not, again, about a character who runs around in a space alien cat suit.
But also, a lot of
people aren't going to see those other movies.
A lot of people aren't going to see those other movies. Specifically, a lot of white people are not going to see those movies. You know what white people love? Fucking superhero movies.
I'm aware. I know.
People love superhero movies. It's so ridiculous how much white people love superhero movies.
But I don't think that this movie is breaking down the barriers to people to go watch Do the Right Thing, okay? Or any other film that you could point to, or Fruitvale Station, for fuck's sake.
Sure.
Ryan Coogler's first film.
Yeah, which that is an amazing movie.
Right,
but,
yeah. By the way, yeah, Fruitvale Station, better than Creed and this movie. But again, that movie doesn't have, big explosions and a soundtrack by Kendrick Lamar, so people don't care. Which, again, that's the biggest travesty here, is that, the only people that saw Fruitvale Station are movie critics and people that watch independent film. I guarantee you 90% of the people that saw this movie didn't spend time to go watch a film that's actually, what put Ryan Coogler on the map.
But maybe people will.
I hope they do, but I doubt it.
I mean, I'm sure some people will, and if it affects, that's the whole thing is
I haven't seen Fruitvale Station mentioned enough in the reviews I've read. I've only seen Creed mentioned.
But if this movie affects enough people in a way that they can then dig deeper into, different movies that they would have never seen, made by people that they didn't know about or have experience with, that is what makes this movie important. And that's the whole argument, is the importance of
the audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us, that's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family and available wherever you get your podcasts.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror, we'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
This movie greatly outweighs how good the movie is. The movie is fun. The movie is just a good superhero movie that tells a good story. But the movie itself, the whole thing as a whole, everything from who the director is to who helped with the sound design to the cast and the number of women that are in this movie. Like, the cast of women in this movie greatly outweighs the cast of men in this movie. I feel
the cast of women in this movie are better than it. All of the female characters in this film are what you're going to walk away from this film remembering.
Oh my God, dude. It was amazing. All of these strong, beautiful women. It blew my fucking mind. That was this whole movie. That's what I've been thinking about for the last 24 hours since I saw it. I'm not thinking about how amazing Michael B. Jordan's character was because they didn't give him enough time to be amazing.
Again, he's also a generic Marvel villain, which means unless you're Loki, you die in the first movie you're in.
Which is so stupid because Loki is such a bullshit character and it's just a fucking pun.
That's the problem with Killmonger is like, yes, he is a more interesting character than, and I've seen, he's the best Marvel villain. That's like saying Wonder Woman is the best DC film. Like, the bar is insanely low.
I don't know, Killmonger could have been the best Marvel villain.
Well, people are saying
the total potential because of where he comes from, because of his backstory, because of the way that he finds his way back.
Because he believes he's the hero. And those are the best villains.
Those are the best villains. It's the righteous ones. The ones who actually have something to fight for that isn't just being an asshole or chaos or fuck people.
I need power.
Exactly. He has a goal in mind his whole life, all based on something that happened that never, ever, ever should have happened.
And mind you, he does become the I need power character, and that's when I stopped caring. That's when I was like, oh, well, now he's just going to die at the end of the movie.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate.
Because he honestly could have been the Loki to Black Panther's Thor. He really could have been.
Yeah.
Like, Black Panther could have been like, you know what? No, let's work together, figure out a way to work together.
And
but
then
it's no, we're just diametrically opposed. We can't do anything about it.
Yeah. And then and then you have Andy Serkis cast in this movie because he was cast previously in what was that?
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, which was a great cameo of like a cool side character that we're like, oh shit, all right, this is like a guy who's going to show up again. This will be great. And then you have him in this movie, and I'm so looking forward to him because he's the bad guy.
And how often do you get to see Andy Serkis on screen as playing a human character?
I don't know.
I had a friend tell me that he didn't even realize that was Andy Serkis until he looked it up on IMDb after the movie.
Oh my God.
Which is astounding for other reasons, but
Andy Serkis, honestly, one of the better actors that are acting currently.
He is the finest working character actor.
And
maybe outside of Jeff Goldblum. I mean, they're both character actors, but still.
Anything awesome that he could have done with this character who I want to know more about just because it seems like, I don't know. It seems like it could have been something cool. It seems like it could have been a character that just sort of comes and goes in the Marvel universe, like every maybe couple of movies, like, he becomes a problem for somebody and, he's just kind of like always the guy who's like maybe gets away at the end and then eventually maybe gets caught and then breaks out of prison or whatever. I don't know. I thought it would be a cool through character to just like have in the Marvel universe that just sort of causes problems, especially for Wakanda because of vibranium and everything.
And then he's obsessed with it.
And he's obsessed with vibranium. And characters that are obsessed with things like that are super interesting to me. And that's what I want to see more of are these characters that, maybe his character is pretty one-dimensional. He's just like a thief and like a bad, shitty dude who's obsessed with vibranium.
And he's a total fucking weirdo, too.
And he's totally weird. And his whole sequence, like when they were doing the drop, like when they were going to do the switch, with the CIA guy for the money, for the vibranium. And he's like using his crazy like arm cannon. And he's like, oh, did you see that? I was like laughing my fucking ass off. I thought that shit was fucking great that they have this character who's like genuinely surprised by like what the fuck is going on and just like fully crazy, like weird guy. And then he just fucking dies, like super unceremoniously, just like, all right, that's it. It's game over because we need to show like how much of a bad dude, Erik Killmonger is.
People told me, well, he had to kill him to get into Wakanda. Well, again, that's the way they wrote the script. So that's what they used to get him into Wakanda. They could have written anything. When people talk about the movie like it was some sort of set in stone event, it's like, it was written that way.
You know what would have been like a really, really interesting other like alternate way to do that is you have Killmonger bring him into Wakanda and get him to, God, what's his name in the movie? Daniel Kaluuya's character.
Oh, you mean the actor from Get Out who was kind of outclassed almost everybody the entire time? Well, hold on, let me take that back. The guy from Get Out who they had no idea what to do with him in the entire film.
Yeah. Oh, Wakabi is his name in the movie.
What a bummer. What a bummer that he was in this movie and they were like, we have no idea what to do with him.
But here's a way to make his character better. The whole reason that he sides with Killmonger in this movie is because he brings Andy Serkis's body to him because his parents, right? Like were killed by him.
They were killed by him at in a event that takes place that
years before.
That leads up to the reason that T'Challa's father killed his brother who was Killmonger's father.
Right. Yeah, it's super convoluted, but I think a better way to do it was you have Killmonger bring him to Wakanda alive and hand him over to Wakabi, and then you can have Wakabi side with Killmonger, and then later when he realizes how fucked up shit is, maybe you can have this moment where maybe he can forgive, like the Andy Serkis character and let him go. And then that's when he flips sides and, comes back with T'Challa. I don't know. Something like that would have been a really interesting thing for his character instead of just being like we've sort of noted before, just like blindly following this new guy who just shows up because he's a badass and shows up with the body of this guy who killed his parents.
And again, that whole thing with Daniel Kaluuya's character just being like completely just following him.
Yeah. Especially because they show you that he's T'Challa's best friend.
Yes.
Earlier
he's his confidant. On Wikipedia, they describe him as T'Challa's confidant. And all of a sudden, he's just trying to kill everybody at the end of the movie. It's like, what is writing characters realistically, even in a comic book movie, and giving them actual motivation?
Yeah, I don't know. Seeing stuff like that and just going like, that's kind of stupid. Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah. It's these are all the reasons why this movie is good and not great.
Because again, it's just another Marvel movie.
Exactly. You have a lot of one-dimensional characters, and the acting in this movie is, I thought, really, really, really well done. I think a lot of the women in this movie completely outclassed the men in this movie. Lupita Nyong'o's character was amazing. Angela Bassett, holy shit, Angela Bassett, like towards the end of the movie, had me almost in tears, like at a couple of points. Holy shit, Angela Bassett. That's all. I mean, like, I don't know what else to say about that.
Danai Gurira, aka Michonne from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, she was great the whole movie, and she stole the whole movie for me.
Letitia Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, and Danai Gurira, they steal the movie. They are the best part of this entire movie.
And they're in the movie as much as Chadwick Boseman is.
Yeah, which, let's take a break. We'll play some messages, and when we get back, we'll finally talk about Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther.
Who is Carl Kolchak?
He's a reporter.
Now that is news, Vincenzo. News! And we are a newspaper. We are supposed to print news, not suppress it.
With the INS.
What's an INS?
Independent news service, sir, founded in 1904 by Enrico Paluzzi.
Who seems to have a nose for the strange and unusual.
Well, last year in Las Vegas, I uncovered a series of murders that turned out to have been committed by a vampire.
And what is the Kolchak Tapes?
It's a podcast.
All about Carl Kolchak.
What's a Kolchak?
The Night Stalker.
And where can you get it?
On iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at www.kolchaktapes.com.
As foolish a game as any that Gory the Ghoul could make up.
Movies have become a portal to a vast and growing pop culture universe, but you don't need to go over the rainbow to get your pop culture fix. Just head to Rainbow Comics, Cards, and Collectibles. They are your one-stop shop for comics, toys, posters, games, and more. Not a pop culture nerd? No problem. They have something for everyone, including a wide array of sports cards, collectible card games, even memorabilia. Stop by one of their 2 locations today. The flagship location at 3310 South Minnesota Avenue, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, or their newest location at 1501 Pine Lake Road, Suite 17, Lincoln, Nebraska. Most importantly, don't forget to add them on Facebook for pop culture news, weekly live videos, and special events.
Here's what some people are saying about the Projection Booth podcast.
Week after week, I'm mesmerized by the focus given great films and questionable films alike. But every episode is a learning and entertaining experience.
This is hands down the best movie podcast. They cover so many different genres across so many years, from obscure movies to blockbusters.
If there's only one podcast about movies and cinema that you listen to, make it this one.
The Projection Booth Podcast, with new episodes available every week at projectionboothpodcast.com.
All right, we are back and we are talking about Black Panther. So before the break, Eric, I said we're finally going to talk about Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. Can I be honest? Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther was not particularly interesting.
You didn't think so?
Well, I don't know if it was just that it felt like they didn't give him much to do. And I loved him in Civil War. He was great in Civil War.
But he was also by himself in Civil War.
Right. And now when he's around these other characters, it's like you are kind of boring compared to these side characters that are way more exciting and entertaining.
But he is also the king, and so he has to be the rock for everybody else to stand on.
But that doesn't mean he has to be boring like when they wrote Thor in the first Thor movie.
I mean, I don't know. I like having him as more of a straight character as opposed to comedic relief. I'm over comedic relief characters, like having
Except you loved Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, because it was stupid and it was fun, and it was like, it just reminded me of like stupid comedy movies from like the 90s and early 2000s or whatever, where like everything is a joke every 5 seconds. And there is a reason that I haven't watched Thor Ragnarok again since I saw it in theaters, because I just don't care.
It holds up.
I mean, yeah,
it's still as much fun. I watched it again when it leaked on torrents. I mean, Voodoo. Someone at Voodoo lost their job because they released the movie 2 months ahead of time on Voodoo. So
I like having some more of the straight characters, and I think it fits with his role, not only like in the Marvel universe, but I think it fits with his role as being the king of Wakanda and being raised by a king. Like, there is a way that, like, you have to carry yourself if you are raised your whole life knowing that one day you are going to be king. And then that day comes and you have to figure it out. And I'm glad they didn't spend a ton of time on that in this movie, because that's a played out scenario that we've seen in countless movies over the past, 100 years or whatever, where the son or, whatever, somebody becomes king and doesn't know how to be king, even though they have been told how to be king their entire fucking life. I like that they didn't have a ton of that in this movie. You have T'Challa, who seems very ready. Like, he's like, I'm fucking king now. Like, okay, I've sort of been prepping for this for a long time.
But again, it still felt very familiar.
Yeah, no, it totally feels familiar. But what I'm saying, I guess, is that I like having him as a straight character as opposed to having him be the comedic relief. His sister, Suri, has all the comedic relief covered. She is, she's the smart, sassy, hilarious one. Even the stuff that he and Okoye, like their banter between the two of them in the movie. She is super funny. The way that all these characters play off of each other is really where like any of the comedic relief or, you know, sort of relief of the tension comes from. And instead of just like sort of straight up, you know, fucking just these guys making jokes at each other's expense.
It's not an issue of comedic relief. It's just I felt that his character fell kind of flat.
Yeah.
No, Unfortunately,
his character, like many of the characters in this movie, felt pretty one-dimensional. And that's the problem with this movie, is that Chadwick Boseman's character, like many of the other characters in this movie, feel very one-dimensional. You know, because they tell you that a lot of these characters have these rich, three-dimensional backstories and lives and problems and struggles that everybody is going through. But instead of telling you, they don't show you a lot of that. And I wish this movie would have shown and told less. I would have liked to have seen, more three-dimensionality out of Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan, and even some of the side characters, it just, but does that then turn this movie from 2 hours to 2.5 hours? Maybe. And is that okay? Maybe. I liked his portrayal of Black Panther, and I'm interested to see where it goes from here, especially after all that this movie set up for the Marvel universe, you know, for the world at large going forward.
Well, and after, again, this is the next movie is not going to be a fucking origin story.
No.
That's the problem with these Marvel movies, is as much as, and we'll get to this in a second, as much as a certain film is my favorite Marvel movie, it still feels very much like a rote origin film. But that there are very few Marvel movies, if any, that the first film of the character's franchise doesn't just completely fall flat. The only one that I can really think of is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, and Iron Man, but that's just because Iron Man was the first one.
Right. It's kind of hard to, that's the first of the first of the first.
Yeah, Iron Man is like, the first movie is always going to be the best because it was the fucking first one,
Right. Like, Iron Man is kind of the Bible to this to this universe. This is every film off of Iron Man essentially has the same tone as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether or not you want to admit it, they all have that same tone.
Oh, they totally do. You go back and watch Iron Man and you're like, this movie could have came out last year.
Yeah. Which, again, no one will admit that because this movie, to a lot of people, again, is the best Marvel movie. And again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. For me, it's not. Because, again, it just doesn't do enough. It falls into those same traps.
Yeah. I like this movie a lot more than I like a lot of the Marvel movies that have come out in the last few years. But yeah, it's not my favorite.
Speaking of that, what is your favorite?
I don't know.
Well, you've got 18 to pick from, so your options are very quote-unquote limited, but not limited, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do really like... I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one. I really liked the second one, too. There's a bunch of stuff that... I mean, we talked about this when we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy. It just, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 falls into tropes a lot heavier than Guardians of the Galaxy 1 did.
Because somehow Guardians of the Galaxy 2 feels rote to the first film.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just thought all the stuff with ego and everything, I was like, oh, you're gonna... It's the whole thing where you rope in the big bad into one movie and then he's dead by the end of the movie. And
cough, Red Skull, Iron, and Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, that to me is the biggest missed opportunity in all of these movies is Red Skull dying.
I'm gonna go with Howard the Duck's cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy.
You're a piece of garbage.
Probably Guardians of the Galaxy is probably my favorite. Either that or Iron Man. Iron Man's fucking awesome.
Iron Man is a film that still holds up. And you can't say that about a lot of films that start something like this.
Yeah.
For me, mine's Ant-Man. I know that Ant-Man is a film that not everybody likes, but I don't fucking care. I mean, whatever. I think Ant-Man's a fun movie. I think they cast Paul Rudd perfectly for what they were trying to do with that movie. And I think Ant-Man and the Wasp looks like it's going to be awesome. And all of a sudden people are coming out of the woodwork like, oh my God, it looks great. And it's like, yeah, I bet you fucking hated the first one and thought it was a piece of shit. Because that's the overwhelming opinion on Ant-Man, is that it's boring. I was like, not really. It's like a more science-y Iron Man, with like heavy on the heist angle, which is what made the movie fun for me. Is like, it's kind of like a heist movie with superheroes in it.
Yeah. which is cool. I don't know. I only saw Ant-Man one time. Maybe I'll have to give it a rewatch.
I mean, I have friends that Doctor Strange is their favorite. And I really like Doctor Strange, too. I think Doctor Strange is also a fun movie that does a lot of stuff that we had never seen before in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I just can't get over Benedict Cumberbatch's really bad American accent.
Yeah, but you're going to have to. I get that, but at the same time, like, the big bad in that movie technically doesn't die.
Oh, what's his name? The cosmic whatever guy?
Dormammu, yeah. He doesn't die.
Dormammu. Yeah.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't die, which is interesting.
Yeah, you have this other cosmic entity or whatever. I'd be interested to see if they ever bring it back.
He will come back in the second or third one. He has to, because he is the Red Skull to Doctor Strange's Captain America.
Sure.
Yeah, but, you know, Red Skull to Captain America is fucking dead, so.
Oh!
Great. So where would Black Panther for you rank in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Black Panther, honestly, and this is coming from somebody who's like really burnt out on Marvel movies. So like my opinion of Marvel movies in general is not the highest it's ever been at this point. Black Panther is probably in my top, like, I'd say probably my top 5 or 6.
So the top third. There's only been 18.
Yeah, easily the top third. Yeah, so yeah.
I would, and that's the thing. Again, like I said, I think this movie is just okay. But for a Marvel movie and for a superhero movie, that means it's pretty goddamn good.
Right, exactly. In comparison to like any other superhero movie that's not of this new Marvel universe.
And that's not in the MCU.
Right, this movie.
Because we could say Marvel movies and talk about Logan or the upcoming Venom film that looks like it's going to be a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I
don't have high hopes.
I think they released a teaser trailer way too fucking early just because they wanted to hop on the hype train that everybody was on that week, where there was like the Solo trailer and the Jurassic World 2 trailer and everything. And they were like, oh, we should drop a little thing for Venom. And I was like, no, don't do that. Wait.
Don't do it if you're not going to show Venom.
Well, I like the fact that they don't show Venom because I don't want to see Venom until I see the movie.
It worked out really well for that American-made Godzilla film from 2014. Don't show the thing that people paid money to see. They care more about Eddie Brock, not Venom.
Yeah. Well,
that was sarcasm.
Yeah. The other problem with that Godzilla movie is you cast one of the best actors that is acting currently, and he's in the movie for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think you cast an actor who's good on TV who's terrible in movies.
I don't know. He could have been good in that movie. I liked him for the 10 minutes that he was in it.
That movie's shit, dude. That Godzilla movie, you want a strong opinion out of me? That Godzilla movie is fucking awful.
Yeah.
A Godzilla movie that doesn't show Godzilla at all for the first hour of the movie. Okay, that's dumb. That King Kong movie that came out last year was banging. Holy shit, that King Kong movie is awesome.
Oh my god, yeah. Kong Skull Island was one of the fucking greatest monster movies like of the last like 40 years.
And guess what? It was, it showed Kong in the first 10 minutes of the movie or whatever, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you're there to watch monsters fight monsters, not Aaron Taylor Johnson run around and try to save people from a train as it falls off because Godzilla accidentally knocked it over.
Yeah. Plus, I don't like that guy. I was like, you're from Kick-Ass, dude. Come on.
Yeah, no, Aaron Taylor Johnson there's like a couple actors that all kind of look the same, and so you kind of just lump them into the same group. I was going to say Taylor Kitsch belongs in that group, but Taylor Kitsch on Waco is a revelation.
I gotta watch this Waco business.
It's directed and produced by the Dowdle brothers who did the Poughkeepsie tapes, so I don't know why you're dragging your feet.
I know. I got too many things on my plate that I gotta watch. Everybody's like, oh, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch Cloverfield. You gotta watch fucking...
Oh, don't. You don't have to watch Cloverfield. That's like the last thing anyone needs to watch. Actually, don't watch it so that they don't dump another goddamn Cloverfield movie on Netflix, please.
I've watched it now 4 times, and I fell down a really deep Reddit hole, and I now understand what's going on.
How many times have you actually seen it?
All the way through?
Yeah, once?
No, probably twice all the way through.
Okay, so you fell asleep 2 other times. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that movie's boring as shit. Just boring. A boring, bad movie that was dumped on Netflix, and it rode a wave of interest because it was a stunt. An advertising stunt.
This is true.
All right, Eric. Well, what would you give Black Panther out of 5?
As just a movie, ignoring the importance and timing of this movie, which is almost impossible to do because we don't watch movies in a vacuum. So the cultural and the very real pop culture effects, and even now in the time that we live in, the just regular culture at large effects that these movies have on society it's impossible to sort of deal with this stuff in a vacuum. And I think that's part of why, I don't know.
The question is, does it hold up a year from now?
I don't know. I mean,
10 years from now? Is someone going to be looking back 10 years from now and being like,
hello and welcome to Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys. My name is Hunter. In this podcast, I'll be joined by a different guest each week to discuss a classic Western movie or TV show. I've been a fan of classic Westerns for as long as I can remember, and in recent years, they've become very nostalgic for me. I love the aesthetic, the tropes, and I love seeing different filmmakers' takes on them. At their best, they're incredibly entertaining, rewatchable, and some of my all-time favorite movies are Westerns. We'll mostly focus on Western movies made in Hollywood, but we'll also be covering spaghetti Westerns, and one thing I'm very excited to get into are Western TV shows. I've got some amazing guests coming on the show, film professors, historians, and podcasters. And Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys is part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, and many guests on the show will be from other shows on the network. Thanks for listening.
Are you a film fan who loves the ultimate home video experience? Look no further than The Disconnected. Your host, Ryan Verrill, is your go-to source for the latest and most accurate information on home video releases, exclusive interviews with industry insiders and filmmakers, and has established a thriving community where every film and physical media enthusiast feels welcome. From hidden gems to blockbuster hits, The Disconnected brings you insider knowledge and a welcoming space to share your love of cinema. Watch every Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific for the live announcements show, and follow The Disconnected on social media to stay updated. Subscribe to The Disconnected on YouTube or on the podcast provider of your choice, and dive into a world where every movie night is an adventure.
remember Black Panther as a cultural milestone?
Maybe.
Who
knows?
Only time will tell, but I mean, I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, I mean,
because I think
don't know.
people's attention span is short.
It's true.
Again, me as a cynic.
As a movie, just by itself, ignoring the importance and effects on society at large that this movie has, great and small, good and bad. Not that I think there are any negative effects that this movie is going to have on society, except for maybe some like weird backlash that people don't fully understand.
I think the only negative is people feeling like they can't give their opinion on the movie without being labeled a racist.
Or the opposite of that is people labeling people racist because they didn't find the movie amazing or, whatever.
Which, by the way, if that's something that you do on either end of the spectrum, don't do it.
Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah. Don't be an idiot. Guys, it is just a movie. It is
a superhero movie.
Yeah. Like I've said before many times on this podcast, an important movie, yes. A movie, also yes. So I don't know. Just
at the end of the day, it's still a movie, and movies aren't taken seriously as art. They just aren't. Aren't. Especially not this genre.
I'm going to give this movie like a solid 3, maybe a 3.5.
No, I echo everything you said. It's just, you cannot right now strip the timeliness of the message that the film has from the film itself. Maybe 10 years from now, we'll look back and say, yeah, Black Panther was good. Maybe it will cool off.
I feel like that's the way that we're going to go back and we're going to look at all of these Marvel movies. We'll
right.
Yeah, that was good. Like, yeah, whatever. Like,
right, because we're already 10 years removed from the first Iron Man movie, but guess what? We still view the first Iron Man movie as a good film. So who knows? Maybe 10 years from now, people will be like, no, Black Panther still holds up.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no way of knowing. Iron Man is a different situation because it is the first of the first.
Yeah, Iron Man is a new hope of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, it's the progenitor film that all these other films built off of.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I mean, again, it's a good movie. Is it an amazing film? No. Does it fall into the same traps we've seen from every Marvel movie for the most part for the last, I wouldn't say 10 years. I'd say, well, technically 10, but they become more punch you in the face every time in the last like 5 years for me.
Yeah.
So I would give it like a 3. It's again, and if you look at the other superhero movies that have come out, DC in the last 10 years, this. Like, any Marvel movie that's good, like I'm saying Black Panther is still light years better. But you have to judge Black Panther against other Marvel movies because, unfortunately, it is a Marvel movie.
Yeah, and I think also it's a weighted scale, too. So we're going to be harder on Marvel movies because Marvel movies are good. All of them are good. None of them are bad.
And we're hoping that there's going to be this one that really blows up the genre and the
exactly.
formula.
And would I have loved for that to be Black Panther? Of course I would have. It would have been amazing.
That's the way it was being touted.
Well, and a lot of people are experiencing it in that way, and good for those people. That's awesome. Everybody needs something to latch on to, that needs something that speaks to them. And I think part of that is maybe because you and I are white, that we aren't having the same deep connection with this movie that a lot of other people are. And I can totally understand that. And I can, totally get on board with people who are like, this movie is amazing. It really,
But black or white doesn't change the fact that this movie does a lot of stuff that other Marvel movies do. Might it change the fact that people are overlooking it? Yeah.
Some of my favorite movies, there's plenty of things that they do that other movies do that are just like, oh, there's the generic thing, that happens in every horror movie. There's the generic thing that happens in every science fiction movie or whatever. But I have a personal connection with these movies, and I could give a shit about all the weird little flaws that happen in them. And if people are having a personal connection to this movie, then fucking go for it, man. Good for you. Good for everybody. Good for the fucking world. Like,
far be it from me to tell you not to, but don't make me feel bad for not.
Exactly.
And don't tell me that I'm some monster for not feeling that way, because that's not cool.
No, exactly. It's everybody needs to be, and that's really the message of this movie, which we didn't really even talk about at all, is the message of this movie is, instead of being like exclusive and shunning people and being dicks to other people and separating yourself, we all need to be inclusive, and we need to accept other people for the things that they love. And, we need to all share in things as, a society, as the fucking world, instead of...
And that's why it's kind of funny that that's what people are walking away from, that if you don't like this movie, it's because you're white. Like, did you not even watch this movie?
I don't know.
But you know what did you not watch this movie? Like, that's literally what this movie's talking about.
Yeah. No, and I love the message of this movie. This movie had a really solid message that I didn't feel was only exclusive to, Black people. It's the message of this movie is a completely inclusive to the world message that I think everybody needs to sort of like take a look at and go, is this how I am living my life? Is this how I am, absorbing, whatever reality you live in or whatever? It just needs to.
This film has cliches and tropes out the wazoo.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to have your opinion. We're not telling you not to,
no.
But don't tell us to not have ours, because
exactly.
Yeah.
We all need to respect each other, even when we don't agree. It seems like a no-brainer. It seems like stupid that we have to like say shit like that. Like, come the fuck on. But I don't know. You say things like that, like, oh, we shouldn't have to say things like, don't hate on people who don't like this movie just because you think it's the greatest thing, ever. Like, we shouldn't have to say shit like that anymore. But we continue to. And I think it's almost like we need to more now than ever. I don't know what that says about the world, but it worries me.
Well, it should worry a lot of people if that's the route we're going, especially when it comes to just a goofy superhero movie.
Sure. Yeah. Ooh.
What do you think the film has on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, I'm sure it's pretty high. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the low to mid 90s, maybe at the very lowest, like the high 80s.
97%. Ooh. And if you filter by top critics, it's a 100%. Ooh. Black Panther elevates superhero cinema to thrilling new heights while telling one of the MCU's most absorbing stories and introducing some of its most fully realized characters. Yeah, some of that is not true.
Yeah, I mean, more fully realized than a lot of other movies, sure, but...
More fully realized than Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man? Yes, probably. More fully realized than other characters in other movies?
But no. We also have the gift of hindsight because we've seen 2 or 3 movies from just about every other character so far. So
yeah, but so have the people who made this movie.
True.
You can't give them a pass. They're not making this film in a vacuum, because a Marvel movie in 2018 with the amount of stuff that's in these movies and the amount of connections cannot and will not be given a pass by anyone.
Especially us, because we don't give a shit.
Yeah. So we'll take a final break and we'll play a preview for next week's show.
Don't touch that dial. It's Dr. Abby Barnes with the truth about cats and dogs, and you're on the air.
I have a cat, and he licked up and down my face, and now I got this rash.
How long did this tongue bath last?
About 3 hours.
Okay, this is a good time to talk about limits. You can love your pets, but just don't love your pets.
Abby was the kind of woman who knew exactly what she wanted.
3 years, no sex? One can survive, this is the electronic age.
Noelle was exactly the kind of woman
You burp and guys think it's adorable, you puke and they line up to hold your hair back.
every man wanted. Then one day, Abby got a call.
Well, I've got a dog here that's wearing roller skates.
Gave a little advice.
Get down on all fours. You're going to have to approach him in a submissive position.
And told a little lie.
I'm 5'10", blonde, hard to miss.
Okay, I'll see you there.
You have to help me. I just want you to be me when he comes in here, okay?
Brian, right?
Yeah, hi, Abby.
Yeah. This is my friend, Donna.
You sound completely different on the air.
You should hear me in the shower.
Brian doesn't know it.
I really like this woman.
You just met her.
I know, but when you speak to someone, you just feel it.
But the woman with the voice he loves.
Hello?
Well, what would you say to having a bath?
You don't strike me as the shy type.
He's probably jealous.
And the face he adores.
You have to admit you're not the same person you were on the phone last night.
Is more than one woman.
Our turtle's sick. Can you help us out?
He's got pneumonia.
All you have to do is grab the turtle's leg, poke him in the butt with your finger.
You want me to stick my finger up the turtle's head?
20th Century Fox presents
She is all that and a bag of chips.
Uma Thurman.
He's got this small personal habit that just drives me crazy.
What's that? He loves you.
Janine Garofalo.
You love Abby because she's so beautiful.
Yes, she is, but that's not why I love her.
The truth is, you would not be so enamored with Abby if she looked like...
I love Abby. It doesn't matter what she looks like.
And Ben Chaplin.
Where's Abby?
She's not here.
I just heard her voice. I know she's here.
She's not here. Here. She's in the bathroom taking a bath.
The truth about cats and dogs.
It's Brian. He wants to talk to you. Tell him to come back in half an hour. I don't think he can be dissuaded. Tell him if he doesn't come back in half an hour, I will call the whole thing off. You're the boss.
All right, that's right. Next week, we're going to be talking about the truth about cats and dogs, and we'll be joined by my friend and yours, Ot5 Films, Mike Wallace. I guarantee you there will not be as much controversy surrounding a romantic comedy featuring Uma Thurman next week, though, to be fair, if we talk about Harvey Weinstein or Quentin Tarantino, then yeah, there probably will be some controversy. Until then, though, the real question is, what have you been up to, Eric?
Nada, man. Just working a lot. Watching Cloverfield.
Like 4 fucking times.
I have now watched the original Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane, and the new Cloverfield movie, and gone to the ARGs and gone down the Reddit holes and been up till 5 in the morning, just drinking beer and freaking out and just be like, oh my God, it's all connected. Yeah, just that mostly. I've been watching a lot of comedy specials, a lot of cool stand-up stuff. Recently, I watched Chris Rock's new thing, Tambourine, on Netflix, and I loved it. I thought it was great, man. I love Chris Rock. I didn't realize that it's been a while since his last stand-up special, so that was really cool. My list of movies and TV shows that I quote unquote need to watch is getting super long again, and whenever that happens, I just kind of shut down and stop watching things, just watch shit that I've already seen 1,000 times. So it's instead of watching some TV show that so and so keeps telling me I need to watch, I'm just fuck that, and I just watch Alien again, or I'll watch Evil Dead 2 for the fucking 10,000th time or some shit, or Star Wars. So yeah, nothing really super crazy. They are, however, showing Nightmare 4 tomorrow in Los Angeles at the Chinese Theater, and I'm really contemplating going.
Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad one.
If it was the third one, I wouldn't even be thinking about it. I would just go. But the fourth one is kind of like,
Rennie Harlan, bro. Yeah. That one's a little bit of a goofy one. No Patricia Arquette. That movie is not great. It's not bad. I think it's like a lesser. It's one of the better sequels to Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's not 3. Yeah. I mean, for me, those movies always go 1, 3, New Nightmare.
Yeah, those are the only ones that matter. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a trilogy right there. Primo, perfectly made. All those movies sync up. They all have Heather Langenkamp, which is kind of the requirement. Yep. So, yeah, 4 is just kind of silly.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Fuck is up with you?
Not a whole lot. Just been working, just been busy, just been working and busy and working and busy. Listening to a lot of vinyl. A good buddy of mine, he's been on this podcast before. My buddy Brian Matiash gave me a Audio-Technica LP 120 for the low price of free. So I have been setting it up and tinkering with it and listening to a ton of vinyl. And you can give people shit all you want for thinking that vinyl sounds different, but man, there's just something about vinyl. The way vinyl sounds. It's like I don't know. It sounds like it makes the room like it sounds warm, if that makes sense.
It does sound warm because analog is always warmer than digital.
Yeah. Yep. Digital always has that like tinny like staccato nature to it that you cannot remove because it is digital, and analog does not have that.
Yeah, it just kind of makes everything sound more natural
and fuller and richer. So yeah, I've been listening to all of Ghost's albums on 33, which has been pretty cool.
Wow.
So yeah, I've got I'm just going to go through every day and listen to like one album, like one record completely, and see if I can get all the way through my collection. Cause I've got a kind of a big collection, but I want to get through everything and listen to some vinyl and read some comic books. That's kind of a nice way to unwind after a long day of work. Yeah. So, cause let's be honest here, as good as Black Panther may be, or as good as any of the MCU movies may be, the comic books blow the movies out of the water, into the air, and obliterate them.
Yeah, probably.
That's true, but unfortunately most people don't have any frame of reference, so there you go. But as always, make sure to head on over to Kultureshock.com to find out more information about today's episode. You can find links over to iTunes where you can rate and review the show, and to Patreon where you can kick a couple dollars our way. Donors get access to unreleased episodes, DVDs, and the chance to guest co-host a Kulturecast. What? As always, you can also follow me on Twitter at CultureStash, Eric on Twitter at Tychomagnetics, and the website at Culture Shocked. Big thanks to you, Eric and Wavoka, and to my good buddy Justin to Decipher for the intro outro music. And make sure to check out next week's episode.
Bitches!
You know how we do, I'm just two-step, drink in my right hand, phone in my other hand, getting to the money, oh man, two-step, posted with the crew, yeah, you know how we do.
Hey, two-stepping, know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 1, 2, Benjamin, aka the Black T, you know what I'm saying? Catch me with my crew every day.